Hi, this is Dr. Dan Purser, danpursermd.com. I'm here with Lois Schweigert tonight of the Facebook page, the now famous Facebook page, in Fibromyalgia with Natural Options. She is going to try and break me with 30 questions, well, 30 plus, and see if she can stump Dr. Purser. If she does, she gets a prize. Brecken, what's the prize?
Disneyland.
What? No.
Oh, I
no
thought
one's
that
going
was.
to Disneyland.
I thought that was always the prize.
Nope.
Dang.
Maybe Disney World, but her family's, I think, taking her later this year, so it doesn't count. Okay. So I will give her a free bottle of glutathione if she breaks me. She came all the way up from Arizona. That's all she gets. Though we do probably need to repeat a SpectraCell on you.
We're doing.
Okay, that's
we're
on the
doing
schedule.
some
Okay,
blood work,
we'll
yes.
do that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get to spend the money, but my wife does. She runs everything. Okay, so that's your prize.
Okay.
And you haven't even stumped me yet.
Not yet.
It's just a guaranteed SpectraCell. That's it.
Okay, Jackson. Across from me is Jackson Larkin, the boss. My boss, soon to be CEO, president of the world, right? No, okay, no, not that. Of our company, well, you already kind of are. And Brecken,
The team calls me Mr. Bossa.
Mr. Boss. Where'd you get? No.
The team calls.
You gotta
it. I
hang
don't
out in the
know.
bullpen and you'll hear all the new names.
So there's a bullpen right out there, and there's just tons of seats in out there, and there's so many people out there working every day. It's crazy. Brecken is catty corner to Jackson and kind of staring at me, and which really annoys me. But
Doesn't like my beady eyes.
you don't have beady. I have beady eyes. You don't have beady eyes. So Jackson, will you please play the theme song? He's been practicing for weeks, 3 weeks.
I'm not warmed up.
What?
Woohoo!
Is that what is that? A Star is Born?
Same jokes every week. Every week.
I didn't realize that was like that movie, The Star is Born. I thought you were talking about the Nativity song.
There's a
last
song
time.
called A Star is Born.
Yeah.
He played it once.
Did he?
Yeah, now it's got stuck in my head. So what was it? Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star?
Remix.
That's our theme
Remix.
song. The Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star remix, really?
Yeah.
What is that? What's that thing called? A kalimba?
Kalimba. You're very close.
Kalimba. Okay, I don't even know what a kalimba is. It's a little finger thing. Okay, so
Yeah, you can show it real quick. It's kind of fun.
Oh, this is it? Okay. We would like to have a kalimba marching band if everyone wants to send one of these. Kelsey can play one too, can't you, Kelsey?
Oh yeah, everyone wants that.
So Kelsey is my boss now. I've been demoted, and Kelsey's been put higher up above me, and she tells me what to do and how to do it, and runs me around this office. Do you have a title?
Practice.
Office
Yeah, practice
Gopher.
manager.
Office Gopher, I think.
Whatever.
And so, do you know who Kelsey is?
I do know who Kelsey is.
Why do you know who Kelsey is?
Well, I met Kelsey almost 30 years ago when.
When?
when she became my second child.
Yeah, so Kelsey is Lois's daughter.
Yeah.
And we had to bribe Lois to come up and do this interview, so we hired Kelsey to bribe her. So thank you, Jackson, for moving my microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have questions.
We have a lot of questions.
And Brecken has questions too.
Yes.
So let's get right in. They like it when we just get right into this.
All right, let's do it.
Kelsey, we had a dance routine planned.
Oh, we'll have to save it for another time.
Have you been practicing it too?
Every day.
Okay, well.
Every day.
I have too.
You guys should hear them when they practice. It gets a
It's
little
crazy. Yeah,
rambunctious.
it's loud and rowdy. Okay. A lot of things crashing. I'm going to take a drink of water. Go ahead. Ask
Okay,
me the first
so
question.
we're going to try and get through as many of your questions as possible. So
Okay, let's rock and roll.
Stacy Beasley asks, is 23andMe a good option for health testing when your insurance does not pay for micronutrient testing? Or is there something better at a reasonable price? And what is a good dose of folated B12 with the A1298C mutation?
Wow.
I know
That's like 4 questions.
I know.
All right, let's 3 questions. So 23andMe is a great option, especially on holidays, because they mark it down to from $199 to like $99 or $69, or I've seen it at $39. You got to get the health one though. Don't get the ancestry. I don't care about your ancestry. I'll figure it out from your genetics. Trust me. But that's how they figure it out. So it's kind of bogus to get the health one or the ancestry one. But get the health version. Or the medical.
Yeah, it's called Ancestry Plus Health.
Yeah. Get the ancestry plus health. It's $199, and that's not what I want. I don't want you to email me your 23andMe. And oh, by the way, don't use your real name and date of birth when you get it. There's no privacy on that thing at all. Well, there is some, but I wouldn't trust it. So choose a really cool fake name. Like you can be Clark Kent or someone. There'll be a lot of Clark Kents now. Never mind. Pick a cool name and use it. So also, don't use your real date of birth. Change it slightly. You want to link that result when it comes back anywhere from 4 to 10 weeks later. Yeah, really wide range there. To NutraHacker.com, NutraHacker.com, and get the complete for $37. If you don't get the complete, you don't pay $37, you're not getting the complete. If you don't pay $37, you're not getting the complete. That's the one I want to see. Email that PDF to info@danpursermd.com. So come back, watch this, take notes on that, write all that down. That's one way to do it. I can look through that pretty quickly too and go through that with you and give you all kinds of ideas. If you got anxiety issues, I like our Pro 7 the best. It really targets the big anxiety issues, as you can probably see in my Google reviews, stuff like that's a really good test. So, and what we do with all these genetic errors, we go around them. So let's say you have a Folar 2 error. Well, Folar 1 and Folar 2, FOLR1 and FOLR2 are DNA plans for construction of your folate receptors on your cell surface. So folate receptor 1, is for old forms of folate like methylfolate, natural folate, things like that. Folate receptor 2 came along later in the human experience, and it's for folic acid. Though you can get dietary food folates that would go through Folar 1, and some of those are folic versions, but folic acid itself, the synthetic version, goes through Folar 2. Most North Americans have Folar 2 errors that I've seen. They can't absorb folic acid, so it floats around in their bloodstream. It gets absorbed in through their gut, then it just floats around in their bloodstream forever. And unless they're having periods, or the women are, they donate blood or something to get it out of their system, it'll just float in there. It can't really go anywhere. So, and it makes you, it causes inflammation. So that's why folic acid is a problem. Cyanocobalamin is the same thing. That's B12 made with cyanide. And people with MTHFR or other methylation errors can't absorb it very well. So that's, sorry, I'm kind of getting off base.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I hope that was 4 of the 30 questions. We're never gonna get through them.
Yeah, we gotta tighten it up. So,
Okay, sorry.
So a good dose of the folate.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
It
it's
varies
case by
for
case.
everyone.
Varies for everybody. Yeah, that's very true.
know,
So you
sorry.
kind of have to practice. Okay, Kay Jerry is from Sydney, Australia, and she is talking about brain fog. How long is it likely to improve after she reaches her ideal dose of either copper balance or CoQ10? Is there any way to determine, this is a good question that we get a lot, so I figured this is a good one to answer, what your dose is before you have to start backing off? And I have my own answer to that one, but I'd like to see what you have to say.
Okay, first, brain fog can be caused by lack of B12 and folate too, and B vitamins, so the MTHFR component. So everyone who has fibromyalgia has some kind of methylation problem. The milder the fibromyalgia, the milder the methylation error or SNP that were passed down to you from your parents and ancestors. So if you're homozygous C677T MTHFR, which is the worst form, and you have 12 other errors on top of those two, you're going to have bad fibromyalgia. If you have fibromyalgia, there's a lot of people with that level of methylation problems that don't have fibromyalgia. I think fibromyalgia is caused by the NAT2 genetic SNP error, and you can find that on your 23andMe. But anyway. I have brain fog.
Do we have an ideal dose?
I would say 3 ubiquinol if they're a really good version of it. there's a lot of bad ubiquinol out there. Forget ubiquinone. It does work, but it's only in special situations. So I don't know the answer to that. At least 300 milligrams. But if you have brain fog and memory problems, we're going to revisit this several times tonight. Don't forget to look at that stuff we got the license from Mitsubishi in regards to.
There you go.
Here it is. Oh, thanks, Kelsey.
Good job, Kelsey.
It's called Brain Support Micro PQQ and Microactive CoQ10. It's really good. 30 plus peer-reviewed FDA level articles in it that I think Mitsubishi was going to go for FDA approval, and at the last minute backed off. It shows up to a 30% improvement in memory after 6 weeks taking it. It shows a huge increase in acuity. Also helps with sleep, oddly enough, after all that, and really, really helps your thinking and cognitive capability. And that it's not like the jellyfish stuff, which doesn't work at all. But
And that's for all ages too, right? We've seen it.
I've seen it. Well, yeah, I think everyone in our team takes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
then
didn't tell
all
them
the
to. They just all grabbed it and are like, "Wow, I feel smarter." It's kind of like when the scarecrow at the end of the Wizard of Oz, the
Got a
the
brain.
wizard gives him a diploma, and he's like suddenly doing calculus. So that's the way it kind of works with this. I'm kidding. Doesn't work quite like that.
That one, just to make sure everyone knows, is out of stock on physiciandesign.com right at the moment, but we're getting it back tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, within this week.
So watch in the next couple days. It should be back for sale.
That's Jackson, who really runs everything. I'm just a
He's just the
face
talking
clown
head.
for this.
The
Okay.
Wizard
We
of
also
Oz.
Okay,
we
so-
we didn't announce the other sale that's going on right now.
Oh, tell me the
forgot
sale.
in the beginning announcements. We're doing a damaged goods sale. So look for Facebook posts and some emails coming later
Are
this
these
week.
like
about
bottles I opened and took one out of?
No.
it. No.
Oh.
They're ones that just from weird shipping back and forth or whatever else.
They'll have Amazon labels.
Amazon labels. The bottles are not. They're not perfect like
They're not
I would
beautiful.
intend to send out. So they're discounted 30% off over on physiciandesign.com right
Wow,
now.
I'd
That's
be
a
buying
great
those up.
deal. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a great
So
deal.
go
It's the
check
lowest
those
I've
out.
ever seen.
Yes, very limited inventory.
Yeah.
So go jump
Yeah.
on that as soon as you can.
Wow. Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
so I wanted to answer as far as determining your dose of copper balance. I just don't think we can ever answer that question. And my dose changes still even now. I've had several stressful incidents over the last few months, and I increased my copper balance because I was just having to deal with a lot. So I was taking 8 to 10 every day. I'm back down to 5 or 6 a day, but that could change again.
Does it help with your brain fog? I've never heard that.
I think it helps with everything overall, but the more you can do for yourself, the better it is. I think it helps with everything.
Okay, yeah. So I maybe I haven't ever asked that question. So
Yeah,
I don't know. You deal a lot more with fibro than I do.
yeah. I guess I deal with it a lot,
I mean,
but
when I met you, you were curled up in bed crying all the time.
I was a mess.
So
I was a mess. Yeah, no,
she wasn't.
I was a mess.
She
yeah.
was a mess.
He
but-
was the one curled up. Like,
Yeah, I was the one.
He was
curled.
like, "Oh, what am I gonna do with you?"
It's like our beds passed each other in the hospital. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
But she does say that she's doing so well, and thank you very much. So
Wow.
that's awesome, and that she's in Australia.
And how much do we pay her for that? Oh.
Nothing. We just hope that we can keep helping her as best we can. Okay, Melanie Underwood. When trying to determine dosing of copper balance and MTHFR Endure, do you stay at 2 a week and then bump it up, or what? And we've talked about this a lot too, but
You got to go up really slowly on the Endure. No more than 1 a week. Or the Renew. Preferably the Endure, I think, is going to be the major one people use. And eventually you'll overmethylate. Probably the max dose that anyone should ever take, long term, is 4, maybe 5. Probably 5 would be really stretching it. But 4 a day for the really severe 14 errors with homozygous or compound heterozygous MTHFR, 4 a day.
that's what I take. I take 4 a day. of
Yeah,
the
well, that'd be
Endure.
you.
Yeah.
'Cause you and my wife and
Yeah.
Brecken, how many do you take?
Right now, I'm only on 1 a day because it messed with me, but I've been kind of sick. So.
You're killing our whole line here.
But I have been up to I think 3 a days where I tap out of Endure.
Right. Good. Okay. Yeah. And you're really young.
Renew,
You're
I can take
Aren't
1.
you like 18 or 19?
25.
Okay. Sorry. She's growing up. Okay.
She also she has questions about the low copper diet. And Melanie, I would recommend please just ask some specific questions on the Thriving with Fibro page, and I will get back to you about that. And also, if you haven't yet, just spend time in the announcement section there. We have lots of information, videos, lists, and files and things that will help answer a lot of your questions.
What's the Thriving with Fibro page?
That's the private page.
Oh, that's what you call it now?
We call it, well, we've always called it that.
It's always been that way.
It's always been Thriving with Fibro. So it's the
didn't know
private
that.
page of the End Fibro page. Yeah.
That's why you say you join that page and join the private group.
They won't ever let me join it, though.
That's,
they won't let me
that's
come
why
in
you
the
don't
Facebook.
remember, because you're not allowed on.
You guys don't allow me to ever leave my page.
Nope.
Yeah, because that'd be bad.
Somebody's asking, Phyllis Stahl, how do I get rid of persistent knotted muscles in the neck? Sometimes it presses on the nerves, giving her bad headaches and nausea.
Gentle massage, that's probably not a great option for fibro people. I don't know, rub glutathione on it. No.
That's a good idea. I think gentle massage, stretching of those areas. Yeah, glutathione or something else.
Something
But,
else.
yeah.
Something else.
Yeah, something
like-
else might be coming.
Do you think
But-
the new stuff that's coming out?
I would try it.
So, sometime mid-November or late November, we're going to have a new,
Best case scenario.
Can I tell
That's-
my experience today when I tried it?
with the new stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so not to be TMI, everyone, but
It's a prototype.
yeah, but not to be TMI. I just got my period, and I was trying it on my cramps because I just get really bad cramps, but it also goes to my back. And so my lower back, I get really achy and crampy, you know. I tried it on my front and my back, and my front menstrual cramps, nothing happened, but my back loosened up. And
It will.
yeah, so
Knotted muscles will loosen
that's
up.
my own little experience today. I get to try it, luckily, because
I think the best thing I've
prototype.
seen it for is definitely pelvic problems in women. Inflammatory conditions, endometriosis, stuff like that.
Yeah. So we'll see, but
PMS.
maybe eventually that could help
Yeah,
this
I hope.
fibro
Yeah, I
sufferers,
think so.
you
But
know?
I mean, I think regular stretching, gentle neck stretches,
Totally.
and things like that. Other, chiropractic, acupuncture,
Yeah.
anything like that you
Mm-hmm.
can try if
But
that's
see,
if those
I-
things
I-
are available to you.
I get why she can't do it at home though. This
hard.
stuff that we're coming out was an FDA OTC, and right now we're going through the final bottling process, and they test the bottles for 90 days, and we're just kind of seeing how that goes. It's just because so it can be legally released as a OTC.
Yeah. Rhonda Navratil, our friend Rhonda, and April are asking about probiotics. Which is the one that you suggest the most?
I like a variety. Life 9, Garden of Life Raw probiotic for women over 40 or 50 or whatever it's called.
Yeah, over 50.
Those are really good. Vaginal probiotics from Raw is really, or from Garden of Life is really good. Okay, you want to get the best of the best of the best. The best probiotic in the world is Natron's Healthy Trinity. You go to the natron.com website. It's just par excellence. They send it to you on dry ice. It's expensive, but it's really a good probiotic. And so I'll take that in Life 9. And sometimes it's a Garden of Life one for women. I know I'm a guy, but works for me.
She actually says that the Garden of Life, and maybe is that the one you're talking about? Says it's 20% copper. Is that?
Ooh. That might be a different
Probiotic.
one. I know they have a ton of variants, but we got to check
I
that.
don't know.
So we'll have
yeah.
to check that out.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, I can't imagine why it'd have copper.
That's what I thought. I thought that seemed strange
Bacteria,
too, but
yes,
what do I know?
copper, mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
a good hit if it is, though. Wow.
Okay, and Rhonda also asks, does copper balance, and this has come up a couple of times, cause constipation in some patients?
Probably.
Okay.
I wouldn't know why, but nothing surprises me. Does
Yeah,
it
well,
you?
no, I'm at this point, I'm always like, I believe your experience and nothing would surprise me.
Well, suddenly you're changing your nutritional needs because that corrects that copper, zinc, metallothionein that's being dysfunctional and allows it to put copper and zinc where it needs to go. And suddenly your body may be going, we need a lot of zinc. And so what that does is slows down your digestive process while you try to absorb every molecule of zinc you can.
Yeah.
For example, I'm just giving one example, but it could be any one of those kind of things.
Yeah.
So it slows down the peristalsis, and it just gets everything slower. And until you work through those nutritional issues or get a spectra cell, here's a thought. you won't know.
She's also asking about magnesium, and I told you I wanted to talk about magnesium a bit because there's so many kinds of magnesium.
And I use the magnesium chelate from Designs for Health or from Doctor's Best. They're both really good. And you said, and I've also used the magnesium malate that you use.
Yeah, well, I just got that one because I was still having
It
cramps, and so this
safe.
seems to be working better for me. So
okay.
I didn't. So it's worth if you're still
You're
having
getting
trouble.
leg cramps?
I get it in a Charlie horse, like
Yeah.
in my back.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I've had them all over, so it's
Yeah,
weird. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you
It's
get
always
leg
in the
cramps,
same spot, and like
Yeah.
just under my shoulder
muscle
blade.
cramps, leg cramps, or Charlie horses, it's a magnesium deficiency 99% of the time, especially in your legs or calves. So, and usually you need to take at least 250 or 400 milligram ones a day. I'll sometimes take 3 or 4.
Okay.
So
I should maybe up mine a couple of times a
it
week.
doesn't hurt
so.
until you get past it. And then I'll warn you, if you're of the age, like Lois and I were in our early 30s, but if you get our age, why are you laughing?
×2 for you at least. I mean, what?
Hey, pump the brakes a little
not
bit there.
Lois, just Dr. Purser.
So early 30s. Okay. Anyway, you get these horrible Charlie horses and leg cramps. If you take magnesium, it makes them go away. You're stuck. You still got to take magnesium forever because if you ever stop that magnesium, it's not because you fooled your body into becoming addicted to it. It's just your need for magnesium is probably genetic, and you're just gonna have to take something forever. So you're just
So if
you're
one
hammered.
type of magnesium isn't working for you, try a different type.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bisglycinate or glycinate or magnesium, not the magnesium oxide. It'll just give you diarrhea.
Oh well, we don't want that.
Yeah. So that's the
Okay.
one you don't try.
Yeah. Okay. Rebecca Coates, Kotz. How do we know if we need MTHFR Renew or Endure or both?
Renews usually for the C677T issues, and for everyone else, Endure. A lot more people take Endure. Even if you have C677T, you might end up on Endure. Hi, Rebecca. So, Rebecca,
Usually we find people start in Endure and then or Renew, and then they'll overmethylate and they'll
And then
switch.
they go to Endure.
yeah, it'll fill
Okay.
up your methylation issues.
So is that typally if you don't know what your
Always start with Endure
Yeah,
otherwise.
always start
So
Endure.
Rebecca is like a big expert. Well, she's a self-made expert, like everyone that follows me in their own little areas. But she's a big expert on MCAS, mast cell activation syndrome.
yeah.
She's really knowledgeable on that.
Someone
She and I are
was-
working together on some projects.
Jenny, you should reach out to Rebecca. There's someone in the comments who says her daughter has mast cell. So
Yeah, I talked to Rebecca, and she and I are trying to puzzle through it, and we think we've got a handle on some really good options that working out here in our biotech natural options that are going to just really help a lot.
yeah.
So we're watching and
sounds
all
not fun.
holding our breath as we see how it develops. But
So Debbie Poole, she's my rock star. She asks, does it help problem areas to apply VARS topically? I usually take it internally, but if she's having trouble with hamstring tendonitis and have tried and thinks it's helping, but not sure if it's coincidental.
no, it can help. Think of glutathione like like you're letting loose a whole ton of little vacuums, and they go through the area and suck up everything that shouldn't be there. It kind of does that. The new product that we're coming out with hopefully in November. Can I say the name of it?
No, not yet.
Okay. That's going to really help with all this stuff. It works hand in hand. God kind of made them to work together. They're designed to work copacetically and side by side, actually, in the body. But between those two, they'll definitely remove the inflammation.
Yeah. And Rhonda asks again about if VARS topically would help with sciatica. I think the same kind of answer, right?
Yeah, try it, but it might help more in November.
Right.
Magically.
As a combination. And then what?
Magic.
And like after workout, potentially on sore muscles.
A lot
and
of
stuff.
people do that.
Yeah.
I get a lot of gym rats and people like to work out hard, and they find
They're
glutathione
recovering.
increases stamina. That's what the NIH has said in a big study a few years ago. Just no one ever had one that worked.
Yeah.
So rub it on your muscles. I know people that lift weights, rub it on. It can help. You're going to see bigger things coming though that work with it.
Yeah. Joanne Hitchcock asked about magnesium, but we already talked about that. But she also asks, do you have any opinions on 5-HTP and GABA supplements for anxiety and
Yep.
sleep?
Yep. if you've got 16 LC, is that it? I can't remember the genetic error. There's a genetic error that prevents you from making HCP, 5-HCP, and I'll prescribe it in that situation. If you have any GAD1 or GAD2 or GAD3 errors on your 23andMe or your Pro7 or any of that, you don't make enough GABA. I don't make enough GABA, so I have to take GABA. I like Designs for Health Pharma GABA, and call my office. We can give you the link so you can get through my account. It's a lot cheaper that way, but it's really good. I'll take them on plane flights. I'll take them on long road trips. If I'm flying somewhere for more than an hour and a half, I'll probably take one. Because I found that it's a lot better than me trying to dive out the door on the side of the plane. They frown on that. So I've tried to quit doing that, and I take GABA instead.
One time we were watching a scary movie, and I had to give Dr. Purser a GABA because he was getting too stressed. He's like, please, give me a GABA.
Yeah. What GABA is natural value you make in your brain. It's not addicting, but it lets you kind of tone down your brain. I take one at night to kind of turn my brain off. Also, if I wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll chew a form of GABA then. It works really good with melatonin and L-theanine. For some reason, all three of those work together. So that's a really good option. HTP works really good if you have that 6-LCA4, 16-LCA. Yeah, I can't remember the genetic error.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't have a Pro7 with me, but yeah, and so I have a lot of people take it for that, and they say it works really well. Probably the best thing if you're still having anxiety and you don't know your genetics, if you tried those, the next thing I would try is, it's on Amazon, it's called Zazzee, Zazzee, DCI, D-Chiro, CHIRO, and inositol. It's just a B vitamin, 50 milligrams, DCI 50 milligrams. Try 1 or 2 or 3 a day. Go up slowly. You'll know if it works. That's for ATG 1601 errors, and they're really bad.
Do you want to explain why that works? Because I get that question all the time because people, they go and look it up and they see it's a female support product. Do you want to say why it works for anxiety? Or do you know?
Yeah, it's more for anxiety than a female support product, actually. But I wish they'd take that off there. But I know guys who have prescribed it, like, this is a female support product.
I get that all the time.
Am I going to grow boobs? I'm like, no. God. It's just a B vitamin. But people with ATG 1601 can't absorb inositol correctly. And so their receptors are really screwed up and messed up. And so they're dysfunctional. How about that? Let me be a doctor there. They're dysfunctional. And so what they have to do is they take the D-Chiro version of inositol, which is the mirror image, which is really crazy. But they can absorb that, and it makes them feel really, really good. And then it calms them down a lot. Like, I've gotten so many patients off Valium and Xanax and stuff like that because we found out they had that genetic error and said they went to the Zazzee, and it can reduce the background noise and the anxiety. It's what all the college kids around here I give it to have told me when their parents bring them in to get them off their drugs that the doctors at the colleges have put them on, really, the psych meds and everything. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they say that. They go, no, my anxiety's dropped massively. I'd say 90% or 98%. So that's how good the Zazzee is. It's not a female. Well, it might be a female health product. I don't know what for, but
I think it's like PCOS actually.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
But probably because B vitamin absorption for PCOS, they don't get that and they have anxiety.
It is a little complicated, but I still haven't figured that linkage up.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I use it strictly for anxiety from ATG 1601.
Sorry, just wanted that.
Okay, Teresa Davis and Jerry Mitchell are both asking about fibro skin. Feels like it's being bitten or something's crawling.
Torn off.
What?
Yeah, peeled off, torn off.
Yeah.
It's
horrible.
horrible.
Little punches. Yeah, something's crawling on my leg or foot. Is this related to fibro? What can we do about it?
It is. It's because your copper levels are too high.
Okay, so just hopefully following.
I'd go, okay, so I don't have fibro, but I've had a fibro attack. I think I caught it from my wife, is all I can say. We were at Orlando at Disney World. I was speaking at a conference, and that day I was walking around the conference place, didn't have time to eat, so I ate protein bars and those peanut butter packets, natural peanut butter. Well, as anyone could tell you, follows the low copper diet. That was a big mistake, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Probably about midnight, I woke up and I felt like I was having a fibro attack because I'd listened to my wife over the years. her symptoms where the skin would feel like it was ripping off, my joints were hurting, my wound, all my old battle wounds were dying. They were all just cooking, and I kind of dragged myself over because we had 2 queen beds in the room, and we were at the Dolphin, and she said take Copper Balance and 30 squirts of glutathione, and so I went and found her bottle of Copper Balance, took 8. And I took 30 squirts of glutathione. I drank a lot of water first, then took 30 squirts of glutathione, and I laid there. 30 minutes later, my skin quit crawling, the ants left, everything settled down, I went to sleep. So it worked for me, and I don't even have fibro, but you can get fibrotoxic no matter who you are, or copper toxic, I guess, no matter what. What an idiot. Now I rarely eat a protein bar.
Yeah.
I got boxes of them around the house. I go find one occasionally, eat it, but then I take 3 Copper Balance. But oh man, I've become I caught up for my wife. I'm pretty sure. Is that possible?
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
Might have just been stress.
Lisa
sympathy
Cummings.
fibro, sympathy fibro.
Do you see any connection between, she is on the low copper diet, she's taking Copper Balance and VARS. She had a spectracell, it looks like. She has high oxalates. Do you see any connection between oxalates and pain?
I believe so, but I don't know what to do about it.
There's that's definitely a theory, and there's a lot of people that say avoid oxalates and it'll end your pain. I don't know.
I don't even know what an oxalate is.
I think superoxide dismutase would take care of that.
It's really.
Yeah, but someone
It's in a
needs
lot of
to-
vegetables. In a lot of
Okay.
vegetables, yeah. So I know that like that's a lot. I believe there's a basis of that for like the carnivore diet for controlling pain, like just eating meat. You know, so I've seen that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we get to go to.
Ask me easier stuff. Oh, you're trying to stump me, aren't you?
Right, that's the whole goal here, right?
That one kind of stumped you.
right?
She gets her spectracell now.
Who?
She earned it. Lois.
Oh, you thought that girl did.
No.
She had us.
We did that the other week.
We should send her a gift.
You guys, I'm happy to be here.
No, not you, the girl.
Oh, I'm focusing on something else. Is this?
Do you want me to ask you a question in the meantime?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. If you have fibromyalgia, why would glutathione be beneficial? I know you kind of answered that a little bit.
So, if my presumption about, let me look at some notes here. If my presumption about fibromyalgia is correct, and I believe it is, I believe I've proven that with all the people on Lois's page in Fibromyalgia with Natural Options. It would benefit the functionality of the copper zinc metallothionein. So this is what I believe that. So naturopaths came up with this first, by the way. They thought that fibromyalgia was caused by copper toxicity, and I delved into that further because I thought there was a definitely angle of truth to it. It was obvious that it was fairly accurate, actually, and they even figured out that molybdenum would assist, and zinc possibly with fibromyalgia. And so, but if you're but I'm the one who figured out that it was the copper zinc metallothionein not functioning correctly. If you look at the copper zinc metallothionein, its job is to move copper and zinc around in your body, into and out of cells, everywhere. So it gets rid of the copper toxicity. But if you look at it, it looks like the head of a trident, and with 3 prongs. The middle prong being a reduced glutathione molecule, and but if that's gone, this is all you've got. You can't. They grab the copper and zinc and other metallic toxins with that glutathione, that reduced glutathione. It can't be oxidized, and so we actually developed the glutathione for just that purpose, to be used by the metallothioneins. That's how we originally developed it, and for a fibromyalgia study, we were trying to figure out, because we couldn't find a functional glutathione on Amazon. We bought 60 of them off Amazon. They're all bogus. So they just didn't have all the aspects necessary to work. They're glutathione. They just don't work right because they're not produced, so and not stable. So so that's how you move copper and zinc around. Glutathione is critical to the functionality. So any of these genetic errors on your 23andMe that block your ability to cycle or manufacture glutathione are going to reduce your ability to have a functional copper, zinc, metallothionein to move metals around.
There you go.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, next question.
Okay. Do you think this would help someone who suffers with frozen shoulder?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt, but the stuff we're coming out with in November, try that on that. But more importantly, you need to get a good physical therapist in. And so the way I always tell patients to deal with frozen shoulder is here, let's say this is my frozen shoulder, and you only get this high. The first day you walk it up to here. You take your fingers, put it on the wall, and you walk it up a little. Hold it there as long as you can. Come down. Do it 2 or 3 times a day. Do it for 3 or 4 days in a row. Always trying to go up a little higher. Every few days, go up a little higher. It's going to hurt, but go up a little higher. That's why this stuff in November can be really helpful. But go up a little higher, go up a little higher, go up a little higher. Finally, you got it to where it's all the way extended up. That's how you break it up and you rub it. You do everything, massage, trying to get the calcium deposits out there and do all that. It will hurt. It's going to be painful, but it's the only way you can really break it up. Okay. If you go in surgically, they can put you to sleep and they'll do that to you. They'll shoot steroids in there and do some other stuff, manipulate your shoulder while you're out. And then when you wake up, well, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it's really painful, but yeah, or you can do it slowly over a number of months. But you better do it because it's going to become useless if you don't.
What type of practitioner treatments can be most helpful, and any specific things to ask them, like chiropractor, massage, physiotherapy, acupuncture, osteopathic? What am I missing?
All of them can be.
Yeah, I agree.
You should use them all gently. Do you agree?
I do agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should try as many things and as many different options as are available to you.
Yeah.
The more you can try, and some things are going to work for some people, and they might not be as helpful for others, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. But you can, whatever you can try to benefit you, give it a whirl.
I found that professional bowling can help a lot.
Professional bowling. I love acupuncture and massage. That's very helpful for me.
Are you the bowling ball or the bowling pin?
I'm a bowling player.
I don't think so.
Okay, that was a bad joke.
I'm just
It
kidding.
bombed. Bowling wouldn't be a good idea.
Yeah.
Especially with that frozen shoulder one.
Right.
Horrible.
Okay, and brain fog. We kind of talked about that already, right?
Brain fog is, there's 14 ways to kind of go at it. So
Is there any
diet,
short-term
zinc.
memory issues that we can address quickly? I haven't found it for me.
Have you tried the BioPQ?
Oh yeah, I'm taking it. I think it's
Does it
helpful.
help?
It does help me,
You
but
seem smarter quite a bit. So
Well,
excellent.
I do have a brain injury, and so my short-term memory sometimes, especially if I'm tired, it's just.
Has bowling helped with that?
I haven't tried bowling, but I should give that a whirl.
I've never seen you bowling, Dr. Person. Never. I've never.
I'm your dad.
I can't call
We've
you
been
that
bowling.
on
We
the
bumper
live.
bowled.
I legit.
It's been years.
I can't remember bowling.
We loved
Decades.
it.
Yeah, probably when I was 5. Well, 7.
We should do that sometime. I haven't done
Okay,
it.
we're gonna go bowling. We'll videotape it just
Dr.
to prove to
Purser
Brecken I
bowling
bowl.
team.
Yeah, hey, that'd
Here
be
we
fun. Yeah.
Get shirts.
Keep an eye out for that video.
We can definitely get shirts and shoes.
Okay, let's maybe
Ask
take
me another,
shorter
Brecken.
questions. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brecken, roll through some of those questions.
These are just some fibro ones. You already talked about how you found out the copper toxicity concept for fibromyalgia, but how did you choose the individual ingredients? You kind of mentioned.
So I spent months. I was trying to figure out. First of all, I had to figure out it was copper, zinc, metallothionein. I figured that out from SpectraCell results, because I had patients with super high serum levels of copper and really low intracellular levels of copper, and that was a weird conflict. That was that didn't make sense. That was a conundrum, and I spent months trying to figure that out. And finally, I kept reading and looking at articles and that. I figured out it was a copper, zinc, metallothionein that had to be the problem, because it's what gets copper and zinc into and out of the cells. And then so I looked at tons of studies, probably 200 or 300 studies on the copper, zinc, metallothionein. Go to PubMed and look up copper, zinc, metallothionein. Look at all the studies, and they're like 1,200. But it's been a big interest. But I don't know why no one's ever tied it to fibro. Maybe I'm wrong. It could be a sod 2 problem, but that's because it's a copper zinc sod. So we'll find that out one day.
Yeah.
But that's kind of on our radar. But I think it's a copper, zinc, metallothionein. And so then I found out all these studies that if you're missing zinc, or you're missing molybdenum, or you're missing boron, or you're missing B6, or actually called P5P, and other vitamins that were in there, your copper, zinc, metallothionein will become dysfunctional. And there's ways to probably test all that. It's just really expensive and difficult. So it's easier just to try the darn copper balance. Then we applied for a U.S. patent on it. We had validation proving that it worked. And we had all the documentation, all those studies and everything else, studies we had done. And the U.S. Patent Office gave us a patent on it, which is a big deal. We're the only copper, zinc, metallothionein patented product in the world. And because it works. And we validated that with the U.S. Patent Office. So take that to the bank because we sure do. But anyway, okay, sorry. But we still haven't paid off that patent probably. But
someone was asking because there's so much zinc in, like, so say like the times that you're taking 8 to 10 copper balance a day, could you have a zinc overdose on that, or because it's so
we've never
crucial?
seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually your zinc shortage when
It's
you have
so
fibro.
depleted, yeah.
Almost always, all of them are.
Yeah.
So if you're hurting, you probably have a zinc deficiency anyway.
Totally. Yeah. That's what I
Yeah,
was.
and so no, you don't get zinc toxic.
And then, what impact does MTHFR methylation errors have on your overall fibro picture and symptoms, and why does it?
It's the fatigue, chronic fatigue portion. MTHFR and the other methylation errors are the chronic fatigue, brain fog. Well, I think it's brain fog. Chronic fatigue, exhaustion portion. If you're super tired and your fibro is super bad, you have bad methylation problems. I'll promise you that. And if your fibro is mild, like maybe you only get migraines, maybe you only get some tightness in your shoulders. I've dealt with a ton of patients with mild, but then when I look, they have only a few NAT2 errors, and they maybe have no MTHFR errors, but just 7 or 8 other methylation errors. They're mild, and they're lucky. So, but when it's severe, you have severe fibro.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound accurate?
I agree. Yeah.
Because can I say that? You and my wife have really high levels of methylation errors.
Yeah.
So the most I've ever seen is 18. I saw 15 the other day. That was rare. Wow, yeah. 14s. I've seen 2 or 3 of those.
I'm a 14.
Yeah. 2 or 3 of those, and all the tens of thousands I've done.
Yeah.
And probably 30 13s. Probably a couple, maybe 200 or 300, maybe more 12s, 500 12s probably.
And he's only ever seen 2 blank spectra cells, like 0 deficiencies. Remember that?
Yeah.
Those were amazing.
Yeah.
Like-
Really strange.
Yeah. Who came up with the low copper diet and why?
Naturopaths did. They figured it out before we did. They had just a few things on it. Cholecalciferous vegetables like broccoli, stuff like that. Were high in copper, shellfish, nuts. They hadn't had peanut butter, but almonds, they said. There were 3 things when
Spinach.
I gave the list to your page, to that page, and put it up there. So Lois and I created that page together. My team did more than I did, but we had 8 things on that diet. Well, they're now 500.
There's not that many. We don't have that many, but it's growing all the time. It's adding. I actually have a few things I need to add to the list.
That's from the community and in Fibromyalgia with Natural Options. Those people did that. They built that community. They built their. It's approaching, going to hit 6,000 next. I know it's got a little ways to go, but
We're working on
I
it.
perceive it'll be 10,000 maybe by sometime next year, maybe 100,000 in a few years.
Woohoo,
So I
hope
teased
so.
Lois about that. She's going to have to hire 84 people to work for her.
84.
We've got a couple others
Yeah.
on there who help her, but
Yeah.
yeah. So because they get better,
Yes.
it's the only Facebook page with Fibro where people are happy and get better
It's true.
and post constantly that they're better.
Yes, they
And they're
do.
amazed that they're better.
Yes. And that, oh, I wasn't really sure until I ate this, and then,
Yeah, you go on that
You
low
hurt.
carb diet and then go eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
yeah.
You're going to be hurting for certain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
do like I did, eat a packet of that natural peanut butter. You'll be on your knees crying.
Right.
Well, I was. So, okay. Next question, Brecken.
You kind of mentioned migraines and stuff, but why do you think some people predominantly have migraines, but then they don't have anything else?
I don't know. Usually you can pick up a few other little odds and ends like, yeah, I have tightness in my shoulders. Yeah, it all starts in my neck, but then goes to my head. It's not really a classic migraine, blah, blah, blah. You hear all that and you're like, huh. And then you look at their genetics, you're like, huh. You have a lot of NAT2 errors, and when you do a spectroscopy, often they'll have a low copper level. Did you hear me? A low intracellular copper level, not a toxic copper level, but it's low intracellular because SpectraCell just looks inside your cells. It doesn't tell you what's happening in the serum. So if I were to check their serum levels, it'd be super high. But if they got migraines and any kind of copper dysfunction on their SpectraCell, they got fibro. They have a copper dysfunction is what they've got. So I don't know. I see it all the time. I'd say most of the bad headaches I get are actually weirdly fibro cases, but I tell them never to say that. I do send them to Lois's page and say, download the diet and get on it. You'll know, because usually it's easy to convince people because it's like, go try the diet. If you're 40 or 50% better in a month or two, you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm right. And it's free to go do it. So.
It's free. That's the first step number one. You'll
Don't
find
you think
it's
low
free.
copper diets are actually cheaper to live on than regular?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, because a lot of the foods that are higher in copper and that we're encouraged to eat are more expensive.
Like avocados,
Like avocados, yeah.
like
almonds.
almonds,
Ew.
Yeah,
almond milk,
yeah. All that, yeah.
yeah, peanut milk. Was there peanut milk?
No, there's oat milk, and I do drink that.
What about cow milk? Can you drink that?
Dairy is no very low copper, so it
Good.
seems to be an okay food. Yeah,
So,
not goat.
what about camel?
Cow dairy.
I heard camel was good.
Camel milk. We said it was a yes, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my camel
Hard to
cup?
find and very
I
expensive.
have no idea.
I
what
should
a
put it up here
camel-
to place
You
of
should
honor.
put your camel cup up there. Yeah.
Oh,
Camel
really?
It's at my
Yeah.
house, I think.
Okay.
Is
But
that your
it's not
apartment?
it's not as hard as it sounds. A lot of people get intimidated by the diet in the beginning, and it's really just learning to swap things. You know, typically there's definitely a learning curve, but it becomes easy.
Yeah.
With time and effort. And everybody, there's a lot of trial and error, and that's good. That's how we learn. It's good.
Is there camel milk ice cream?
I'm not aware of that, but
You can probably make it.
Trader Joe's.
We'll probably
Trader
look for it.
Joe's.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's.
Whole Foods will
Yeah.
have it.
I mean, I had a message.
Camel milk is expensive.
Yeah. Yes.
You have to
we
ship
looked it
it.
up.
We
you
looked
went
at it.
broke last time you ordered some.
I know. It was like $100 for a little quart of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. Wait, what was it? So, what was your question again?
Just like there's some things that seem like it's a migraine or weird
Yeah.
symptoms, but they turn out to be fibromyalgia.
I keep my radar up for that one, especially when they have a low copper value on their SpectraCell. I only know maybe once or twice that was just a copper deficiency.
And men can get fibromyalgia too. It's
They
just
can.
not as common. Would you say?
Right, I agree.
Or do you
Oh,
think the pain
more.
is different?
No, it's just rare.
I was just wondering.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
So okay, I did find Designs for Health has a no copper, no iron multivitamin.
That's good. We've been looking for one.
I know. Life Extensions
We'll
has
have to
one
try it
too,
out.
but I'm not as convinced. I know Designs for Health has
I
really
looked
high
up
standards.
that probiotic. It does have copper in it. The Garden
What?
of Life 50 plus for women.
Crap.
So
Oh, sorry. Will
Natron.
they get me banned off Facebook?
You're
Crap.
banned.
I think you're okay.
Crap.
I need to get the little beeper button when
Bleep.
you're swearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crap.
Okay, I have a couple more questions.
Go ahead.
Okay.
We're gonna take it to the end
Jennifer
tonight.
Rowland, love her.
I love Jennifer Rowland.
She's awesome. And she says, after being treated by you very successfully for fibromyalgia, I just can't get my 11-month-ago diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis under control. Any suggestions?
Yeah. Contact me, Jennifer. I can give you really good suggestion, but I can't mention it on here. Begins with the H. But it's really, I've used it a lot with chronic RA cases. Has no side effects, extremely safe. And it's cheap. It's been around for 75 years. It's just really good for it. Also, the new stuff we're coming out with in November might really, really help. So, and it's going to be a huge seller. We think, okay, that's all I'll say about that one. But, yeah, the other stuff begins with the H. Can't say it on here or be banned. So we'll drop it.
And then how to sleep without pain, or how to help us get to a deep restorative sleep. I have my own thoughts on those. But
Let me read your mind. Take copper balance.
yes.
Glutathione too, maybe.
I think, for some people, glutathione might give them too much energy. Some
I
people
agree.
it makes them sleepy. You just have to try that.
I told that story about me. I was dying.
Yeah. But I do keep a bottle of Copper Balance next to my bed, and I have found that if I take 1 or 2 at night when I'm going to bed, I think it does help me feel better in the morning. So maybe save 1 or 2 for bedtime. Try it and see if that helps you. Also, I'm big about some general stretching, little yoga stretches or something, get into a little routine about that. And also listening to some meditations. Guided meditations are great to help you go to sleep and to get into that state.
I played the YouTube channel on my Apple TV. You know what I play? Disney entry
Disney
music.
food critic.
Walt Disney World
blogs.
Epcot music. Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
I like the Lord of the Rings Lothlorien, stuff like that music.
Oh, that wouldn't put me to sleep.
Oh man, it's like, I'm out. So peaceful. But
Kelsey would be up all night.
So go ahead. Sorry.
I think that Pharma-GABA, I love Pharma-GABA. But yeah, I think taking some Copper Bell at nights, get in the habit of doing some gentle stretching before you go to bed, and
What about jogging in place?
probably not the best idea for me, but yeah, some guided meditations are very helpful for that.
I find if I work really hard that day, like I've been doing a lot of push-ups lately every day, and I try and do some weightlifting, and now that the smoke is starting to clear out, though do you hear that professor lit the fires up there? Anyway,
What?
from my college lit the fires. They caught him. Anyway, in California, but they caught him. He lit 9 fires. But anyway, he's a criminal justice professor. Okay, I'll just leave that alone. Yeah, if I work out hard, I sleep better.
Mm-hmm. And the last one that I have for you is from Regina Middleton, and she wants to know your thoughts on fulvic acid.
Why do I always get those questions? I don't know
'Cause
much
we
about
asked for
fulvic
Because
acid.
you're a doctor. We want to know.
Yeah.
Should I look something up? I just don't know enough about it to comment on
Okay.
that.
Is it what is it called?
Fulvic.
Fulvic, F-U-L-V-I-C.
I just want to look that up. So
I think it's a
know
form
myself.
of folic acid.
I would
or-
assume. I've never
I
heard
don't
of
know that.
fulvic acid.
It's kind of coming up to the fore of late, and I just haven't had time to
Yeah,
look at it.
Rhonda had a good question on here. What symptoms do I look for in my body that means I've found a good probiotic?
Oh man, if you have indigestion problems or weird stools, like diarrhea, some days constipation, other stuff like that, and that all settles out, you'll know. And if your stomach's not upset, you'll know. You'll know. Yeah, you can feel the deep burbling deep down in your
That's how you
colon.
know it's a good one or a
Good.
bad
No,
one?
that's a bad one. That's,
Okay.
You need it. That's really like, I'm going to have a problem. Like you're out running, you're 2 miles from the house, and you're like, I'm going to have a problem. That's probably you need probiotics. Or you're going to have problems on the way back.
Fulvic acid is for parasites, actually.
Well, learn something new. That's not my area of expertise.
It's for detoxification, gut, improve energy, fatigue. So we'll look at it a little bit more.
But interesting, though, you on parasites, what the Microgen DX people told us.
Oh yeah. Ugh! Don't let your dog lick any part of you. I learned that, especially a wound. Oh my gosh, we learned so much about Microgen just because.
So Microgen DX is that company we're using for chronic UTIs, interstitial cystitis, chronic sinusitis, even chronic prostatitis, recurrent prostatitis in men. But I shouldn't use that word right here. But 'Cause you can
Yeah.
you can do a rectal swab and it will pick up parasites. What it does, it tests for the DNA of wherever you swab. It'll tell you all the pieces of the DNA it finds and what they belong to. So there's no way you should have parasite DNAs in your anus or rectum. So, what?
No cats. Don't have cats.
Do not have a cat in your house.
And it does not mess. It is deadly.
But if you guys have like wounds that are not healing, things like that, the microgen testing is really
Really good for that.
That's like what he was talking
It's a
about.
lifesaver. It's a game
Yeah.
changer because it doesn't culture. Like for interstitial cystitis, these women keep getting the test, and I find out they've been cultured over and over and over again. But then I find out they have 5 different bacteria and 3 funguses in their urine, and they've been growing there for 20 years, and no one can find it because the fungus or the yeast create a biofilm that makes the bacteria invisible, makes everything bacteria in there, and everything invisible in the bladder, and you don't get anything on a culture. So, so Kelsey's giving us hand signals,
Well,
and it's really distracting.
And we learned with the glutathione how it helps with that biofilm to kind of disrupt and break it up.
There's all kinds of studies on PubMed that glutathione should remove the biofilm around drug-resistant bacteria. So yeah,
So do
using
you
it's really
recommend they
good
take
too.
that internally, topically, both?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Both.
So if you're suffering
Yeah.
with IC, really work on with that glutathione. It sounds like the VARs.
Yeah,
And some
really.
future stuff. But
Yeah, for a topical glutathione, we'll have some more announcements
Yeah,
about that
this
later
week.
this week.
The IC, yeah, never mind.
we got a lot of fun stuff, guys, as per usual.
The Microgen DX is a game changer because it's really PCR level 2 testing. Remember PCR with the other thing I can't mention on here because I'll get shut down.
I can mention it.
I can't mention it.
Oh,
I'm not mentioning it.
okay.
I don't want them coming to my house.
Well, PCR, you guys know what that.
Okay, PCR test.
refers
Anyway, Microgen has a library of 50,000 DNA critters. I mean, like bacteria, funguses,
critters.
yeast,
Critters.
all kinds of weird things. Then they can match up the parasites. They'll find it. If you're shedding, they all shed DNA as they die or as they do whatever they do. And they'll pick that DNA up, and it's crazy what they find. So, yeah, if you think you have parasites and want to know for sure what those bad boys are, might be some bad girls in there too. But anyway, get a Microgen DX test. Go to their website and check all that out. Microgen DX,
Or give
GENDX.
Give our office a call. We can help you.
Oh, yeah, we can help you too.
But also, just as a reminder, guys, we do have our damaged goods sales going on right now. I know. I see you guys already taking advantage of it.
Am I damaged goods?
Obviously.
We all are.
We know.
We all are.
We
This-
felt this was a very appropriate sale
Yeah.
for us because we've all felt that
Feeling
way.
I'm
damaged?
definitely damaged. I'm trying to get undamaged, but I'm really damaged.
So, yeah. Go check that out on our website.
Wow, you came all the way up here for this. Are you embarrassed? Oh,
I'm embarrassed.
I'm teasing.
No.
She's up here helping us this week as we plan some bigger, better things with her. And she's also helping Kelsey get moved in. So Kelsey's going to be my boss. Kelsey's my boss. So I bow to her greatness and organizational skills. And she's already threatened to fire me 3 times. So
Somehow the firing went from I get fired to now Kelsey's firing Dr. Purser. So it's nice.
I really,
Fire you, Breck.
Good. Thank you.
Kelsey will fire Brecca too. Thank
No,
you for
she
taking
just
that
said
pressure
she
off
would
me.
not fire me.
Oh,
My job is steady and secure now. I can go home and be happy.
I'm the one. I may be looking for a job, so I'll call you guys. I'll hold a Facebook Live. I'll have to do it myself.
You'll have to read them your resume.
With an iPhone.
That'd be
Okay,
fun.
well, I love all you guys. Thank you for watching. Thanks, Lois, for coming.
Always.
Kelsey for doing weird hand signals that we couldn't follow. Jackson for that theme. Can you really practice the theme song?
That's a good song.
I know a couple other songs, but I don't know.
What about Stairway to Heaven?
Only the solo.
You can do the solo on the kalimba.
I'll have to practice a little bit. Sure, yeah.
Okay, Stairway to Heaven. Because it's like the star thing. You're going to the stars or going to heaven, same thing. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to be gone the next 2 weeks. We're going to be gone the next 2 weeks.
But we might have some. We might jump on live. My guess is sometime this week just to say hi. At some
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably jump on and do something. They got something planned for me. Big things are coming. Really, really good things are coming. Get ready. Something this week. Something in a few months later. Earth-shattering, major changing things. I love you guys. Go in good health and God bless.